everybody, and welcome to Top Comics to Pre-Order in a Flash. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is our real quick show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday around 6 o'clock, so you don't miss out on any of the comic goodness. So head on over to infinityflux.net right now. You can follow along, place your pre-orders, and make sure you don't miss out because there's a lot of great stuff this week. So let's get into.
We're going to start with Batman the Barbarian #1, and this is the next of DC's new batch of Elseworlds books. And this is set back in a fantasy world, as you can see on the cover here. The all-seeing Oracle warns the blade-wielding Batman of a looming shadow creeping across the land, and this barbaric Batman is going to have to contend with foes that cannot be destroyed by a mere sword. And he's also going to have to deal with the memory of the catastrophe in which he was made. I know that this is going to tell a little bit about this versions of Batman's origin, so this should be really fun.
Yeah, very interesting. Next up, we have Absolute Power Super Son #1. This is a one-shot, and I believe our only one-shot for Absolute Power, but this is going to be oversized. And if you've read issue #2, you know a lot went down with John Kent. This is actually going to be exploring kind of the ramifications of that and him having to reckon with his own past and set the stage for what's to come for him for the future. So I think this is going to be pretty big for John Kent, kind of setting him up for future stories. So very cool in here. And like I said, this is an oversized one shot.
The next is a new 10-issue series from Image called The Moon is Following Us. This is written by Daniel Warren Johnson. The art is by Riley Rossmo. And it's about a husband and wife, Sam and Duncan Lamar. About 6 months ago, their daughter Penny was taken by the Cascade, which is an evil force that they barely understand. And to get her back, they're going to have to fight side by side with these magical beings that Penny used to cherish before she's gone forever, before it's too late. This looks really cool. They've released some preview pages of this, and I am very excited for this.
Yeah, super hyper fantasy, sci-fi, everything. Next up, we have Blade Red Band #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries, and this is actually picking up after the events of Blood Hunt, where, if you read it, Blade was possessed by kind of the Lord of all vampires. But this takes place after that, and how does he deal with that? How does he kind of regain his humanity? And is there any vampire left in him or any humanity left in him? I wonder if we're going to see a new kind of status quo for Blade. Is he going to be full vampire? Maybe no vampire at all? But of course, this is going to be a polybagged red band book with no regular edition. So it's much like the Werewolf by Night that's currently coming out. It's going to be extra bloody gooey mess. So if you think this sounds good, you'll definitely want to pre-order this series.
Next is Multiversus Collision Detection #1. This is based on the Multiversus game from Warner Brothers, kind of a Smash Brothers type game. And in this one, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are each troubled by strange dreams that they've had about the rabbit, the Star Child, and the witch. And their investigation into these visions is going to lead them face to face with none other than Bugs Bunny. But what is going on, and who in the name of the multiverse are the Star Children and the Witch? So yeah, a nice tie into the really fun game.
Next up, we have Spawn Violator. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries, and each issue is going to be by a different artist, but they're all written by Marco Andrecco. And what's really interesting about this, it's telling the origin of Violator, the kind of oldest villain in the Spawn universe. But it's going to be told by an unreliable narrator, and I wonder if that's going to be maybe the clown himself telling the story. But it's going to start from his days as a heavenly being through his fall and then eventually his banishment to Earth. So if you want to check out this really interesting look at a very scary character from the Spawn universe, don't miss this miniseries.
Next is Revolution 9 #1. This is about a woman named Velveteen. She used to be an assassin for this group called the Order of Nine. She was once tasked with killing a hacker named Jasper Dean. But on that mission, she decided to save his life instead, which is why she's now on the outs with this organization. And she wants to find out why he was marked for death to begin with. So now she and Jasper are going to be on the run from the Order of Nine, trying to save their own lives and also prevent them from toppling society as we know it.
Here is a new one. This one is from Distillery, so it's that magazine size, and this is going to be by Ram V and Joel Jones. This is called Through Red Windows, and this is really interesting. It's hard to get a full picture of the kind of horror this is, but it's a horror book where we meet a rich elitist named Harlan Roderick. He invites his protege named Athel to live at his apartment building in Manhattan. But when Athel thinks this is my way into kind of the world elite, because this is a very rich man, he learns that this 73 floor building behind every door is a new horror or a new monster that somehow mimics his boss's life. So it sounds a little surreal. This says it's for fans of things like Succession or like Wolf of Wall Street, that kind of higher up echelon
Yeah.
horror.
Next is Venom War Daredevil #1. This is the Daredevil tie into the Venom War event that's going on right now. And basically, it's just Daredevil and Elektra fighting against a horde of zombiotes that have descended upon New York City. How are they going to, live up to this giant group of symbiotes?
Next up, we have a new miniseries. This is a 9-issue miniseries called The Tin Can Society. And this is really interesting. So, this is about a guy named Johnny Moore, who is a world famous tech mogul, but he is as well known for his work pioneering mobility aids for people like himself with disabilities, as his time being a vigilante known as Caliburn. But one day he is found murdered, his suit stolen, and it's actually going to be up to childhood friends of his who kind of come back together to solve his murder. And this is going to be a book about kind of those lifelong friendships and how they change over time, all with this very interesting setting in a pseudo superhero world. And that is it for Top Comics to pre-order in a flash. Thank you so much for watching. Head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order these books. If you don't have an account, super easy to sign up for one, and everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of as an extra bonus. Uh, some great books this week, so hopefully you found something that interests you. And stay tuned for our video coming up on Friday where we'll be going over these books, plus a lot more, their variants, all that good stuff. And also stay tuned for our second episode of our Infinity Flux letters page that is going to be going live very soon. Or if you're watching this later, it will be up on the YouTube where you can watch that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.